Hi guys, so it's me, and this is going to be a very scattered video because I'm not going to edit it because what I'm about to talk about is something that I know that if I go back and edit it, I'm going to chop out a bunch of things and then it won't be as honest and truthful as I want it to be. So, before I begin, I want to first off say a few things. One, I hope before you guys judge me for what I'm about to tell you, I hope that you consider the fact that everybody's situations and life circumstances are different, especially, I don't know, they're just different, you know? You have those mothers who can stay at home all the time, which is great, but at the same time, you know, they stay at home all the time, they don't get breaks from their kids. You have those mothers who work outside of the home, which means that they get breaks from their kids, but not necessarily because, you know, they miss their kids and then have to juggle the stress of having to work and also work when they get home. You know, you have those women that have maybe one child, but then you have those women who have three, and then you have those women who have one difficult child, and maybe you have that woman who's got three really easy children, you know? So what I'm trying to say is that, like, every person's circumstances are different, so their feelings about the subject are going to be different no matter what, and I hope that you consider that before you point, you know, just, you know, judge me or anybody else who may feel the same way I do. Another thing is that I also want to say that if you are struggling to have children right now and you get upset with people who complain about their kids, maybe you should not watch this because I don't want to offend you. Again, I understand that it is hard for you to hear people complain about something that you want very, very badly and can't have yourselves. But at the same time, you know, yeah, you know, I have friends who are going through IVF and struggling as well, and they know me, and they know that I wouldn't just complain to complain, but this is just, I just wanted to get this off my chest and to kind of just get off my chest, and then last but not least, for those of you, I know a lot of you are new to my channel, so if this is one of your first videos you're watching of me, I apologize, but this is kind of me. You'll find out quickly that there are a few things about me that are just tried and true. I talk too much, I care too much, I'm too sensitive, and I'm overly honest, and I share too much. So you just kind of have to get used to that. And I bit my tongue, so I have a swollen taste bud, so if I'm like lisping, that's why. So we just got home from my brother's house. We were celebrating my niece's first birthday. It's so late right now. John is upstairs giving the kids baths because I just had to get away. You guys see me as this happy person and having this lovely, you know, life and family, and I do, and for the most part I am happy. I'm very thankful for all the children that I have. I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for what we have, you know. I'm very thankful. But at the same time, being a mom is extremely hard. It's not easy. I've been a mom now for almost, well, I'm going to count from when I was pregnant with my oldest, so she's 8, so I've been a mom for almost 9 years now. I'm 26 years old. There's a lot of things that I had to learn on my own. There's a lot of things that I had to do on my own. It's not been easy. And even though I'm married right now, it's still not easy. My husband is very helpful. He is a really patient man. He is a very kind man. He is a very, I mean, he's got his faults, don't get me wrong, but he's a very good man. But it's still hard. It's hard on both of us. And tonight was just one of those nights that I'm downstairs making this video, and my husband took the kids upstairs to give them baths because I needed to be away from them. Like I said, you see me as this happy-go-lucky person who's got it all together and, you know, has these great kids. But what you don't see is the dark side of me and my family, which is I have a 7-month-old who's becoming very opinionated about things. She screams bloody murder when you take things away from her. She isn't happy just to sit anymore with me. She needs to be entertained, which is fine. I understand she's learning, but on top of that, you know, I have a almost 3-year-old, to be 3 at the end of June, and he's just very difficult. I've made a video of how difficult he is. He tantrums. He is just screams in the middle of the aisles. He's, you know, dislocated his elbow twice because he, you know, pulls his arm so hard that it just dislocates. We've gone to the emergency room. He screams, he destroys things. He's not very nice. His newest thing is to tell me that he doesn't love me, and then he tells me that he does, or to, he's hitting now. He hits John every once in a while. He throws stuff at his sister, just, whatever. And then I have my daughter who's 9, or almost, sorry, she's 8 and a half. I don't know. She's 8 and a half. But she doesn't listen. She's at a very difficult age where she's just in her own little world. And, all of that combined is just extremely a frustrating situation, especially when, like, tonight everybody was off their schedules because people didn't get naps. We had a really busy day, and we're traveling, so we were all stuck in a car together, and it just kind of combusted into this just, like, one thing after another, Kaya's crying in the back seat because she's tired, and I'm trying to feed her solids, and all of a sudden the pears just like flip out of my hands, and now they're all over the inside of my diaper bag and all over everything, and then Wyatt kicks the remainder out of my hands because he was sitting next to me in his car seat, and it was just like kids are screaming, and all I can think is, oh my God, we're gonna go home, and it's gonna be hell. I'm not gonna be able to go to bed for another 2 hours because, they're all off their schedules, and they're all cranky, and Wyatt is just terrible at night these days. It takes him forever to go down, and, Kaya, is great. She goes down now, but if her brother Wyatt's screaming, she, wakes up, and it's just like last night, we had all the kids in bed by 8 o'clock, and then, Wyatt woke up every 2 hours screaming, which woke Kaya up, and it was just like, there was no winning, and I don't remember the last time that I had a full night's sleep. Like, I can't even tell you when that was. And I know it's going to be a very long time before I have a full night's sleep, and I never go out. People think I go out. I don't have any friends. I think I've been away from all of my kids maybe all of 4 times since Kaya's been born, and that was to go to the grocery store or something. Like, I just, it's difficult. I love my kids to death. I love them. I don't think I need to explain that. I love them. But sometimes I get so angry, not necessarily at them, but with the situation that I'm in right now, which is this difficult stage in parenting, and I don't know how people do it. Like, I watched reality shows of, like, the Duggars, and they seem like they're happy all the freaking time, and, like, is that, like, even possible? Like, maybe they are happy all the time. Maybe there's something wrong with me that I'm not doing correctly, or maybe John and I aren't patient enough people. Like, we've talked, and, like, we've talked to each other, and we're trying to think, like, is there something wrong with us? Why are we so angry all the time? Why are we so on edge? Why do we yell so much at the kids sometimes? Like, why is it so hard for us? We think we'll sit up until midnight talking about, like, wondering what is wrong with us, because there are people, like, I don't know, I guess nobody talks about hating their kids sometimes. Like, I guess it's taboo to talk about that, but sometimes I don't hate my kids, obviously, but I sometimes hate the way my kids act, and I hate the way that makes me feel. And my husband feels the same way, and we just sit there and stare at each other, and we have to, like, remind ourselves that, like, did we wanted this, right? And, the reward and the payoff totally outweighs what we're going through right now, but sometimes the reward and payoff of, having a hug and a kiss and those great moments are so far between with all these, like, bad moments that it gets really hard to hang on, and like I said, like, I watch these people just, like, flawlessly just are super patient with their kids, are super kind, they never raise their voice, they always talk like this, put that down, please, and I'm thinking, like, what is wrong with me that I'm at the point of, I'm not like that, and I wonder, is, maybe, I don't know, just do people put on an act, is it just, I don't know, so I wanted to come on here just to talk about just the dark side of it all, because maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not as a patient of a person as I thought. Maybe my husband and I aren't parenting the right way. I don't know. I talked to my parents, and I remember being yelled at a lot. It was really stressful growing up because we didn't have a whole lot of money. My dad, in the position that he was in the church, was really busy all the time, and my mom was working, and, things weren't always easy, and we got yelled at. My parents were very, very strict with us, I don't think that necessarily me and my husband are any different than them when it comes to raising our kids, but I don't remember I guess I don't remember seeing them so at ends, I guess. You know, like me and John sometimes are to the point where like we want to pull our hair out, and I'm to the point where I feel like I'm just gonna combust or just break down crying, you know? And I don't know. So I guess I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I didn't have, sometimes when I get really, really angry because everything's just falling apart and, you know, my toddler has told me he doesn't like me for the last, 50th time in one day after I've, done everything I could for him all day long, made him great meals, played with him and stuff like that. But the second I take away a truck from him, he tells me he doesn't like me. Like, that just gets to me, and and when I have days like that where, that goes wrong and then things break and then my daughter comes home and just makes a mess of the house and doesn't pick up, or, my youngest is screaming and I can't help her, or I can't get a break from her because she's so attached to me right now, which I love that she loves me, but, like anybody, I need a break, But when I have those days, I feel like if I don't get away from them, like something's just gonna burst. And I'm not saying that I ever hurt my kids. I would never hurt my kids, but I feel I feel boiling, I feel like I need to just get away. And I'm grateful that I have my husband to, step in when that happens, and I do that for him and vice versa, which I think is why, having two parents is so important in a household. But like with my daughter, when I didn't have, like when she was terrible, I had to call my mom, and my mom would come right over and she'd say, "Go take a break, Kelly," And it's just kind of like, I don't know, does anybody else go through this? Does anybody else feel this way? Does anybody else, I know that, like, my mom and dad tell me it's normal. I know that I've seen parents, like, just at Toys R Us yesterday, when I was shopping for my niece, like, Wyatt was, like, breaking down. And I kept it calm, I kept it cool. I would never, ever lay a finger on him. I would never, do that kind of thing. I've spanked him for running into the middle of the street before. I'm not going to lie, because getting spanked is a lot better than getting hit by a car. He needed to learn. It's been an ongoing issue. I will admit that, but I've never hurt my children by any means. I've never hit them. And I never would. And I would never yell at them in public, but, as I'm trying to get him away from these Thomas trains and he's screaming, I see this mother also she's like screaming at her kid, which I would never do out in public or at home, like the way she was, but she was telling him to shut up and all these other things, and I was thinking, part of me was like, oh my God, like that lady should not be saying that to her child. But part of me was just kind of relieved, like, oh my God, thank God I'm not the only one who just, like, sometimes just his wire's too short, But at the same time, I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I hope I'm not that bad. Like, I would never tell my child to shut up. I would never, drag him the way that she was dragging him. But at the same time, like, I know that I've gotten to those points where I've wanted to, and I've had the opportunity to step away where she obviously didn't have the opportunity to step away, So yeah, I guess I'm just trying to see if, like, I guess I'm just trying, it's like I'm emptying my closet, I'm just letting you guys see all the skeletons in my closet right now, kind of, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that because it's fresh in my mind because I had screaming kids in a van for an hour on the way home, and yeah, so, I don't know, like I said, before you judge, please realize that I have 3 kids. I'm home all the time with them. My 2-year-old is extremely difficult. You can ask anybody. And I don't get breaks, and I'm really tired, and we don't have a whole lot of money. I think people assume that we're, like, rich or something. We're not poor, but we're not, like, I can't just call a babysitter to come watch my kids for me. Like, it's not like that. I can't just drop my kids off at daycare. Not that people who do that, don't have a right to be stressed, but I'm just saying, like, for me, that I think is why I'm just so uptight right now, is because I need a break. I feel like my kids are screaming. But, I just want to talk about that. So, yeah, there's that. I'm going to let you guys go. Like I said, I apologize if I came off wrong, and I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I just wanted to talk about that because that's part of parenting, and that's, at least for me, and it's really hard, and I'm really trying. But, you know, I'm only human. That's another thing, is I feel like people, like, there are these e-cards going on right now, like, you know, be nice to everyone you meet because you never know they might have a toddler at home. And I totally get that, because sometimes I'm having a really rotten day because I've just been beaten down all day by my 2-year-old. And then to go out and then have somebody cut me off on the road or something, it's just like, you know. Or there's another one that says something like, you raise your kids, you know, for 2 years, you teach them how to talk and walk and this and that. And then for the next 16 years, you just want them to sit down and shut the H-E-double-L up, you know, and that's true too. But, you know, I don't know. So, there's that. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I guess you can if you want, but I'm not trying to offend anybody. I just wanted to be honest so that way people didn't think that I was perfect or my family was perfect, because we do have our flaws just like everybody else. And yeah, I was going to say something else, but I completely got off track. I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go. I'm going to upload this directly so that way I don't chicken out. Because I know somebody's going to call me a bad mom or have something to say, which, that's great. But yeah, like I said, please just remember that everybody's different. Every kid is different. Every situation is different before you know, throw stones. So, I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.